Okay, let's continue for where we stopped. We said when the function eventually get to this object, the add tab is getting to, is getting eventually taking us one to make sure that the manager exists, and then if it's not, it's creating a row in the table of the manager, and if it is, it doesn't. And we check if the n underscore is true, in order this is a new one, then it will add in the content, it will make that one. I want to demonstrate it, okay? But first, let me just finish the sentence, and then it will create a row in the tab. So let's do it again, okay? Let's go to here. By the way, you can see that it's about 3,600, okay? 3,600,000. I will ask Charles to give you that money, and then you have some money aside, which is good. Okay, let's go back to here. Let me clean up the database. Yeah, the database is not being created anyway because it's not really working. No, it does create this one. I'll take it away. Okay, so let's do it again. Okay, we're going to here and refresh. And okay, we're getting this one, and we'll fix it eventually. I'm going to write Amos again, and bingo. Let's see what really happened. So it should have created a new row here, and it should create a new row here. Let's see if this row has been created as well. Otherwise, I have to fix it. So let's go here. We have the manager. Yeah, it did create a new row. And in the new row is indeed put exactly what I asked him to put. It's the manager name. He put in the content, he put a dictionary, last object number 0, because that's where he's starting to give numbers. The second thing, he put the name of the manager, which we already put when we created the object. So let's see that one as well. You can see it here, BATM. That's why I call this application for the business simulation. Okay, so that works perfect. Let's see what happened to the other one. Let's see if we have the tab also created. Yeah, the tab also created. Let's see what we got here. So here we go. We got the name and we got the content. Let's see, is that what we asked him to do? By the way, here we go. It created the row of the, it created the row of the table, of the tab that's in here. And if the n, in fact, it always has to be new, otherwise it will not create it, especially if the manager is not there. Although theoretically, now this one is only 8, so I don't really have to be afraid. It's always will be new. And this function will always be created to create a tab. So if the same manager has more than one tab, so the manager will exist, but the tab is always will be new. So I don't really have to check for it. But after he's creating it, this T now becomes to be in the new row. So I'm creating a content as a dictionary, very similar to what I did here. But here I call it the content. I put it as the content in here. I saved it, and that's really did the job. So this function add indeed is working. Okay, from A to Z, it's perfectly working. So if I go back to here, so this function I am happy with. It's doing the job. Everything is perfect. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Now let's deal with the delete function. Okay, let's deal with the delete function. And then we go step by step because I really almost rewriting everything from scratch because I changed the database. And that's okay, because now at least I have the idea. The idea is fine. By the way, I don't really have to, sorry. I don't really have to see that. So I'm gonna close it here. That's fine, that's fine. Let's go into the delete button. We have delete button and we have another function. And here is going to ask me again the name of the tab that I want. Remember, I'm adding the app to build up the object on the Python. And then I'm transferring the div. It always will be this structure, always. That's the beauty. And the parameters and the functions and everything are being in the dictionary. And we always call it the same link. So this is always standard. The only thing is, does this function now works on the server in this object? So let's see in the delete. No, this is the add. Let's look at the delete. A support. So let me. What's that? Oh, is the stock market have started? Looks like it. Hold a second. That's too early. It's 3:30. How come? Yeah, it is started. I made $2 already. You see that? $2.70 on this. But I lost a lot of money before. I know it's going to go up eventually. Yeah, I don't know why it started an hour earlier. What time is it? 3:30, isn't it? 4:30 in Uganda. Strange. I gave them a command. Yeah, I knew the price is going to go up. I hope I didn't lose it. Okay, this is really exciting, Brenda. How much money I already did in the last minute? I made $104 on this one, and I might make $3 on this one. It's about $105 in a minute. That's pretty cool. That's what I want you to get to. And you don't need to get money from anybody. You want to give money. You don't want to take money. You got it?
Yes, doctor.
This is really nothing. We're going to have much bigger portfolio with God willing. I didn't know it started. It's what the heck is that in the video? Let me close it. Okay. So anyway, let's see what happened if we're getting this one to here, and then we'll see if it deleted it. Okay. So let's go back to here. Go to the application. Let's create refresh and add Amos. What happened in here? It's not working on a sudden. Why? I love that. Let me delete it. Okay, let's go here. Refresh. What is that? Status, okay. Result manager. Last number 0. Tabs 0. Okay, let me do the following. So I want to see that everything works perfect. I'm very glad we're getting to this point because Daniel, I really do want that you follow up and start really getting into. I want you to be the manager of this application. So let me write here 1 and 1, and here I'll write 2 and 2 so we know that it's activated both of them. Okay, let's refresh that. I think it should generate something here. No, I'm not sure. This one is pulling, so maybe it doesn't. Okay, let's leave it. Let's go a tab, Amos, and let's do okay. Okay, why it doesn't work now? Did we destroy something? 111 works. 111 works. And did it got to here? I didn't got any error. But why it's not doing it? Okay, hold that. I got it. Let me refresh. Okay, it's there. And go the tabs. Okay. But let's say if the delete works, it doesn't show it's right. That's a different issue. Let's delete and do Amos again. And let's check the database. Then later on we'll see if that works. But it should, let's see here, refresh. Yeah, it did delete it. So this one, those two functions working fine. But we don't have the functions that update the screen, they are not working fine. But that's okay, at least we know that those functions do work fine. The other one that we want to check that is working fine, which is very similar to the other one, is get tabs. And here, let me open all of those. Let me see. For T in tabs, print TD, T tab content. If not tab content, put it there. It should be there. It should be there because it cannot. It always has to be. Let me double check. It always has to be. We deleted it, so let's create it again. It has to be there all the time. So if I click here, and so we'll have, you see we have the content there. So I don't really need to check it. It always has to have there. So there's no reason to check for the content because it has to be there. But we will print it anyway, so we can see it. It print it back. Then we have OK. Then to the manager, we'll see the print, and then we'll see if we got it. This function, get table from table, it's being called to populate when the object is being created. So let's look what that function exists here being called. Here we go. Here we go. Here. So here we go. We can get this one. Let me just write alert. So we know it's 45. So I know that this is already there. Then we'll see it. And then this is not working, and I can assume why. I will fix it. So let's see if we're getting now the pulling. So I know that object is perfectly done. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's refresh. Okay, we see the number 45, it's coming back. And we are actually getting, status is okay. We have a vibe, we have a node called result, and inside it, it has the manager and it has the tabs. The manager, it already does have this part, which is exactly what we wanted. And all the tabs will be like, it gets the ID, which is the number in the table, 115. As we know, it's 115. You see that?
Yeah.
And it has tab name Amos. That's what I gave it. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this function, I made it working again. But the difference is that I made the table elegant in the right way. Honestly, it's really the right way. One day I will tell you the whole philosophy. In fact, I can tell you right now. The idea is all the screen has to be kept as a JSON, as a dictionary. And the application of the JavaScript should be able to take that information and generate the screen. Second, which I haven't done yet, the data that the user is putting in the screen going to be kept in a different database. You got it?
Yes.
That's the way it's supposed to be built. That's a beautiful architecture that I did 20 years ago, and it works perfect. Okay, now I'm just cleaning up the code, and I want the table. This is elegant. See the beauty of it. You have a name, everything is in here. Okay, that's the right way to do it. So let's move on. Let's see. So this table is working, this command is working beautifully. The only things is, what really doesn't work is when I create the tab. Let's see when I create the tab. You see that?
Yeah.
I'm getting the data from the results. I have the manager. If it is null, I'm adding, but the manager not, this is for the first time. If the manager the first time, so I don't want it to get stuck. So I will put the manager, it will put, by the way, this is the object in JavaScript. And the object in JavaScript has content. You see that?
Yeah.
By the way, already putting it with a content, so I really don't really have to do that. But it won't hurt anyway. So, okay. So if the result manager is null, don't do any, I did it, okay. Don't do anything because I already have done it. Otherwise, just take the actual manager content. And the first time, it's really nothing. It's only the last number equals 0. But later on, we're going to put a lot of things inside, and it will be updated, and we will keep a lot of information inside. Okay. Next, you will see, we put a lot of stuff like the logo of the company, blah, blah, blah. The tabs, we have the tabs, we take the result tabs, which is inside, and then we're doing a loop. Let me do it this way so it'll be easy for you to follow. For every tab inside, we're generating an object of a tab. By the way, this one I don't really have to have. And then I'm transferring the manager to be the parents of the tab. I'm transferring, what is really this one? The data. Data becomes to be really the tab ID. What is the tab ID? You know, in the tabs, let's go and look at the database again. We have only one now, but hold a second. No, let me go back to here. And here we go. This is really what we're transferring. We want the information from the tab. This is the tab name. In fact, we have ID. Okay, we don't see it here. And we want to transfer the ID, and we want to transfer this one. Inside here, we know that we have the tab name. You got it? So we don't have to transfer the tab name again. So that's why we're transferring now. I changed it slightly. So I'm transferring the data and the ID. Okay? So let's look at the tab. And there is probably a lot of problems that I need to fix. Probably will get lost for a while, and then I'll get back. So let's leave all those objects. Here we go. So we're getting let's see the data, what the data we're getting. So we'll see that this one actually working. We know that the tab name should come from the data. The data is really the content, and we can take it right from there. Tab title, I do not have. You see that? So it's probably giving me an error here. So what I will do, we'll do a trick for now at least. Okay? Let's go back to the add function here. The add function, and we will change it later on. See, we added the tab name to be this one. So let's add also a tab title. Daniel, you see how I work? Step by step. I keep the same name. And then later on, we'll open an editor that will be able to change the tab name. Okay? For now, we'll keep it that way. Okay? So now when we get it back, we actually really, when we create, it will create automatically also the tab. And then we will call it, it will give me the right, It will give me also the tab title to be the tab title. We have tab functions. We don't really have functions. You see that?
Yeah.
We don't have properties. We don't have objects. So what we should do? That probably will be empty. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
But we can be smart. How can we be smart? See, what we're doing here, we're checking if it's null. If it is null, we're adding. So this one could be null. So, okay, that all those three gonna be null. We don't really have to touch it. If it's null, we're adding some stuff here, in fact. We're adding to it the functions. And we're adding those three functions that you're already familiar with: init, myClick, and otherClick. Remember those?
Yes. Yes.
And you see we're transferring object. We're just defining them here. We're not really calling them. So if you look at that one, we're making inside this dictionary, this is going to be this is a dictionary inside this object, but the dictionary functions is empty for now. Then we're adding to each one of them, we're adding a name called init, and that one, we're defining a function by this name, the same name, the tab name, plus init, and functions object and doing nothing. So this is when we're creating that for the function. By the way, let me go to on Academy City, it works. And did I close it? Let me see here. No. Let me do another one. In Academy City, I usually leave it when it works, and then I play with it. So here, let's go back to KK. Okay. By the way, you see those three functions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the functions are empty. This is exactly the function. You see that? But he knows what is SEO. It's the tab name. So when we're creating them here, look at that. We are in this dictionary. We're creating a tab function, which is I'm calling it from the tab. But if the tab doesn't have, it will be none, none, none. The first time is all of them will be none. And if it is null, I'm telling him create this tab function. It becomes to be part of the tab, and it will have a dictionary. This one will be a dictionary. Inside have function, but it's empty. And then after that, inside these tab functions, you see, these tab functions, meaning this one, it's empty for now, but I'm adding to it a function. What is the name of the function? Is the tab name. Here I call it SEO, correct? And he's adding to it, he's putting underscore in it, and that's why we're getting this name here on the left, SEO underscore init underscore. That's the name. Got it? Equal. This one, it's the function itself. Look at the way it's written. SEO, this will be SEO underscore init equal function. Is that right? And parentheses. That's exactly what you have on the right side. So far, so good?
Yeah. So good.
And we do the same things for the other two. Same idea. So we have a new dictionary. This should work now, by the way. Let me do the following. By the way, this is the dictionary. Everything is the dictionary now. Just for you also to see it, it should work now. This should be a dictionary with three functions. And by the way, same trick I do with properties, and you will see later on the importance of it. If the properties is empty, If it is null, make the property to be empty things. Otherwise, just put the properties. This one I prepared and I'm still working on it. I will talk about it in a minute. I'm still working on this one. I have a lot of work to do. And then I have another one for the objects. For now, I'm just making empty objects, gonna fill it up. And then we have a function called process functions. We'll get back to that. But let's just handle this one. Let's see if this one works. No, not this one. I want this one. Okay, we're getting tab name Amos. You see that?
Yeah.
That's what really the manager created the tab. As I said before, if you remember, the manager in set tabs is looping over all of them, and in here is creating a new table. Everybody see that? Is
Yes.
transferring the tab ID as data, because this is really what the dictionary comes from the table. So we got into here, we're seeing it. It's actually just said this one. Okay, and next, hey, I will get an error because I should really redo it. I should delete it and recreate it. So let me delete that one. Only in the beginning, later on it will be just perfect. Let's go back again, refresh, add, Amos, let's do, okay. Now we get, you see, we got also tab name Amos, tab title. Remember that was the problem that we had. I do okay, let's refresh. This time again, we're getting tab name, tab title. Let's see if it will work now. Oh, it doesn't. Let's see why. Let's see here, everything here is working perfectly. 1116, tab name, last name, everything's perfect. We can see what's the problem here, why we're not seeing anything. So we have this one, we know it works. So we don't need to see it again. Maybe for now we will, let's leave it. But let's see what the problem is. Or maybe, we're not getting the functions, do we? So let's see what the problem is. Maybe the problem is here. And I usually do it that way. Let's try at least the first one. Let's see if that's the problem. And you know what, I'll do the whole thing. Let's see what the problem is. Where does it get stuck? Control C and refresh. He doesn't like me. Why? I didn't get. Okay, we're getting this one. We're getting the one, and we're not getting this one. And why we're not getting this one? So I have an idea. We can do it differently. We can do that differently. Why it doesn't give it to me as a null? Let's do the following. I will figure it out. Let's say alert first. And it probably will say undefined. Okay. One. And it didn't give me anything. Why? Okay, I know what to do. The truth of the matter, we should really check if it exists. And there is, I always forget, a JavaScript check a key exists in dictionary. Let's see, I always forget. So here we go. No, I don't want that. What does it do here? Oh, oh. No, I don't want to check that way. Yeah, if this is should work. So we will do it the following, not with now because I changed it. That was fine before. I'm going to change that one. I take all of those out. I don't need them. And now I can do the following. Instead of these, if hold a second, Control Z. I need this one. And shoot. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Let's go here. Okay. If functions we need it not in, is that right? Not in data types, because types exist, but this dictionary has the function in it. If it does not have, that's what we want to do. Okay? So let's just play with it, alert for now. Yes, let's just write here, yes. And then we just make sure that we got everything right. Then we have properties, and then we have objects. So we don't really need all of those. That's just for testing purposes. You with me, guys?
Yes, Doctor.
I think you understand, yeah?
Yeah.
Just that I changed. Before I had a field, and now I have a dictionary. Yep, nothing works. Why it doesn't like me? I probably screwed up somewhere. 281. 281. 281. If, what's wrong here? Maybe then, if, maybe the note, it doesn't like it's here. Maybe this way, no, let's do it this way. If functions in, do that, else, no, let's say, Control V, no, and let's do here else. Yes, let's see now what happened. It doesn't like the note. I think I need in JavaScript. It's I will have to put note here. I will see in a second. Yeah, okay. We got this one. One. Yep, it didn't like me. Why it didn't like me? Why it doesn't like me? If this in this, the tab is content tab. Hold a second. Why did I get content tab? Data doesn't have a tab. Hold a second. Let's do that. Let's do that again. Refresh. My mistake. Yeah, it doesn't have a tab, so we don't need the tab. That was the error. Okay, good. So let's now check. We have one tab and not the tab if that if in data. That's what I need because data is a dictionary. I want to check if data is the content. So now it should work. If in, then it's yes, should be. Yes, and that should be now. Okay, let's see. Let's play with it one more time. Here we go. See, we're not expecting to have a content anymore. Beautiful one. Let's see here. No, perfect. That's what we wanted. So it already is giving me that it's not in there. So, and that's really what the condition that I do really want. So I'm just gonna reverse the logic and see if that will work. No will be here, and yes will be here. And if not, let's see if it will take not here. In Python, it will take, let's see if it works here. I don't think so. Let me try the following. Not, I think this is the way it takes it in JavaScript. I'll just wrap it up with another one. And then if not, show me not. If that's good. Okay, that should work too. Control C. Or maybe the other way around. Let me see in a second. First of all, I want to see it works. No, very good. So everything is working perfectly. We do not need this part. And we can delete this part. Is that right? And we know that this can go away. And if a content board is content, let me take all of those ones away from here. Put it right here where it belongs. And now I'm going to change this condition. Is that right? I want
Yeah.
to take this one out. This one will go right to there. And that's going to go away. Yeah, good. So now we're okay. If it's not there, it will create them. That should be fine. We now need to change the other ones as well. Then we'll have the JSONs function. We want to see that it's created. If tab north, no, we don't want that. Control V. And we want to take properties. Right? Properties from here. If properties is not there, then put them there. Fair enough? Same things we'll do for the last one. That should work now. And objects, is that right? Same things for objects. Let's take that one away. let's take objects. Those are 3 elements, and you will learn them by heart one day. And we might even change them. So let's even do that. That will be more elegant. Okay? I can do that. Very good. So now we got those 3. Let's make sure that we're getting up to this point. Alert. I will write 9 here. Fair enough. And let's start it again. Let's say we're getting to number 9. Okay, we're getting this one. Oh, we're getting all the functions. That's pretty cool. And we're getting number 9. The rest is probably, it does. I didn't know it would work. But I'm really not doing anything new from functionality, but I'm organizing my database to work in the right way. It's very elegant, like we did in finance, if you remember. So that's good. So far, so good. So this one is, even I can put it here as it was before. I don't really need that one anymore. And can even get here. Move that one a little bit to the right. Right. Very good. Move that to the right. And we don't really need that one as well. I just commented out. Okay, let's move on. The process seems working. Let me see what process means. What does it do in the process? Oh, what it does really, process functions. Look at that, this is beautiful. Is looping F for F in these tab functions. Like it's going over all the functions. And what it does eval to it. What does it really mean? It does eval to the function itself. Meaning in JavaScript, it knows the existence of that function now. That's really what it does. Very simple function. Got it? I kept it here. I could have left it here, like write the code here, but I don't really have to. So this is good, and I'm not surprised it probably works fine. Create button container. Let's see what this one does. We'll finish with this one and we'll continue next time, next week. And that's a hell of a lot of functions. Each one of them. Let's see what this one is. Control F. We go here. Let's see what we have here. This one a very tricky one. Let's leave it for next week. I think that will be too much, okay? Because this one basically it's creating now the tab itself, and it's getting the title, the buttons, and the tab itself. Okay, but there's other more functionality. But what I would like you to do is go over the code and read it. I will upload it and I will do a push to the development. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, doctor.
It's a lot of things. We said that we're going to split the development and the machine learning. I think it's a good idea. When do you want to do the machine learning? Do you want to do Wednesdays machine learning? What do you say?
Wednesday.
Daniel, or you want to decide and let me know?
Wednesday, doctor.
When?
Wednesday.